a trend. We was it became a transitional time for the industry, and you know, so it was always, you know, not to take anything away from Tommy Boy, but it was always, I think, we was a little bit beyond them in terms of their structure and how they worked things and how they saw a group was supposed to be worked and how an album was supposed to be worked, without understanding the history of the group and where we came out of, you know. So, you know, he's right. You know, a lot of the artists that do their thing are able to maintain their own creative space outside of what the label is doing, outside of what might be going on in the industry itself.
Because it's mainly a setup for them to get the maximum monetarily. You know what I'm saying? It's like so they say put your single out 3 months before your album come out. Now during that 3 months, you might put out something else that might catch on to the people that wasn't the original one. But it's like, to be able to switch lanes and the way we do it now is that we'll be able to switch lanes and do this and do, you know what I'm saying? Before it was like, okay, this is the single, and if it don't do good within whatever, when we send it out to the DJs, if it don't, you know, then we done. We done with you. And that don't make no sense, because like the people, like, because you're gonna be judged by your body of work. See, like that's why like a Jay-Z or somebody like that could go to whoever he's with now, Atlantic, he was on Def Jam, even when he was with Priority. It's like, we're going to judge him by his body of work, not by one period of time, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we on. We know that people are going to judge us from the first thing they heard from us until the last thing they heard from us, you know what I'm saying? But that's what we want them to judge us on, is the body of work, you know what I'm saying?
Word. Straight up. Yeah. That's and you know, who's to say what makes a hit or what makes a group, you know, a group or that group. You know, I forget, I think it was Kanye, as a matter of fact, who was like, everybody was like, that record's too slow, radio will never play it, people will never catch on. But for that year, all you heard was, alright, I'm gonna get my money, you know? And who would think, oh, that thing ain't even 90 beats per minute, it's mad slow. What they going, you can't put that in the club. But when you know, when it's coming from here, and you know what you got, and you connect with the people. Exactly, that's the key. Who put you where you are, you never go wrong. And you know, that's the thing. Like, we're not one of those groups that reach out for broad, you know, recognition or anything like that. But what we have been able to do is connect with the people. Yeah. The actual people. You know?
Nah, like for real. Look, Real Six is living proof of that.
And that's the thing I'm talking about with the internet. Sometimes you lose that connection, that real world shit, as opposed to the cyber world or the cyber shit, you know. And but it's all good because we need that and we use it. I've utilized it, L's utilize it, A's utilize it, and it's a remarkable tool, you know, for people, especially talented people, to get out there and get heard and like get known. The labels tell these artists, like they'll go to them, right, and they'll play their songs or whatever for them, and they'll be like, yeah, we like you, but go get you need the internet buzz.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Right? And they tell artists, go get an internet buzz, right? But then they don't tell them what to do. What what are the things you do to, like, in your viral videos?
I tell you how to
get, you know what I'm saying?
I tell you how to get an internet buzz. You need $5 grand a month. No, I'm serious. You need $5 grand a month. You pay the guy who knows all the websites, and then they get your song on there. You get 80,000 hits. And then you're gonna get a big deal, and then they're gonna put $500,000 into you, and then you're not gonna sell 5,000 records.
You may get a ringtone.
So we could get an internet buzz. You know what I'm saying? We could get an internet buzz. But what does that really mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I'd rather get a Four Loko buzz. and then record a record, and then put it out and have people appreciate it.
Exactly. You want an NE buzz, right? You want that buzz that's gonna make you say, "Damn, I got to go to the store to get that."
The NE buzz, where you do anything at any time for any given reason. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That NE vibe.
That's it.
Word up.
Not too many people that can really say that in this business, because you know, you're dealing with a lot of pimps and a lot of hoes.
Yeah,
there's a lot of pimp hoe mentality in this thing. You know, so to be able to stand on your own gangster and say, nah, you know, it's a feel good thing. And if we don't, you know, we came into this like we just want to make a living. You know, we want to do this, make a living. You know, we in our early days may have been unit driven and profit driven, but as the game changes, you recognize that longevity can be built in many different ways. Not necessarily in how many units you sell,
right?
But if you connect with the people
it's
who
that body
got you there,
exactly.
You know, and you consistent with it, you know, and you know, that's where we at.
Like if they love your record, they'll just get that record. If they love you, they'll get anything you do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
the honest truth.
That's the real shit. So like we never really let's merchandise Natural Elements hoodies and we never did none of that. But now we're in a part of the game where when you see what's going on in hip hop right now, or and just in music in general, but I'll section on hip hop, like with Jay Electronica getting signed to Jay and all that, and the way Kanye's doing and stuff like that.
Kid Cudi just signed Cage.
That's great. And you say, and I said the other day, I woke up the other morning, I said, you know, what's going on in hip hop is very Natural Elements ish. Yeah. And I say it's very Natural Elements ish because it's very organic. What people want now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when people see the anything that looks like they're trying to force them to do it or to buy it, they don't want to do it no more. Because they have the internet and they can do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the internet leveled the field.
It leveled the field, exactly.
The internet leveled the field where you can say, you know, I don't have to buy that whole CD no more.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to do what you tell me no more.
Right.
I can search and listen, discern, choose for myself. You know, I can choose what songs I like and what songs I want, as opposed to having to go buy the whole CD.
Right.
You know, I can choose what songs I want. I can choose what I like. Yeah. You know, and a lot of the artists that are able to maintain is because they're able to put forth not just a few good songs or a few couple of singles, but a body of work.
That's a whole different
that
story.
Somebody or that people are going to want to have.
Because when you look at legendary art, like we want to be legendary, and when people look back at the game, you know what I'm saying? And when you look at legendary artists like Stevie Wonder or whoever, like when people like if you're introducing to somebody to Stevie Wonder, you probably go get the greatest hits or something, or you probably get like whatever album you feel like was the best for him, or if you put somebody on to Anita Baker for that matter, and you say, yo, The Rapture was her best album, right? We just want people to do that with our whole body of work. Yo, this is when they was doing, this one they had this one in the group, and this they changed this, because it brings a whole dynamic, and now we a whole force on our own without sounding like nobody, without nothing. You know what I'm saying? We a whole thing on our own. We on our own planet. You know what I'm saying?
Without having to say, oh, we're down with this person,
down with us.
We know that person, or we have sisters, uncles, nieces, nephews, whatever in this department that we connect with. We basically stick within our circle and do our own thing.
To show our appreciation for your support.
First and foremost, sorry you had to suffer.
They low when we up, but we flow as they suckers. We cut ya, carve ya, stuff ya like Thanksgiving supper. We lay waste to a jam.